are so many victims of the system here in Letcher County. But look at what we see happens, even if they do get caught. Ben Fields, 6 months in jail in his own house. He got to live there in his own house. Well, heck, he'd done worked there 15 years. You think that mattered to him to have to sleep there? He already basically lives there. And then his wife got to lay down with him. She got to do whatever she wanted. She'd go in there and hang out with him all she wanted. Big screen TV on the wall, big thick mattress that he got to sleep on. Now you're going to listen to what Miss Taya and the other women. Let's not forget Lexi Bentley. Oh, I know so many people around here, every time they saw her, they would look down on her. They'd throw their nose right up in the air. She didn't deserve to even be breathing the same air that they did. Yeah. Yeah. But yet, did they know that she was being sold at the age of 7 and 8 years old up in a holler? Did they care?
Okay, let's talk about Letcher County, Kentucky. There are many, many, many atrocities that have happened to the people here by the court system, by the authorities. Everything from sex trafficking, extortion, prison for profit, embezzlement. I mean, you name it, it's going on in our courthouse. I want to share with you what happened to me, how I went to prison, and how I'm still dealing with it. And then in future videos, we will go into the details of the other things as well. But, okay, here goes. In 2015, I got in trouble for trafficking Suboxone. Trafficking one Suboxone strip.
One.
Went to jail. I was there for about 6 months. They also charged
what I take every single day of my life. Remember I said the other night that I think it should be given freely like Narcan? I think it should be. I think it should absolutely be given away freely like Narcan, not making people, setting people like her up with
charged me with child support what time I was there as well, for arrears because, you know, I didn't have custody of my oldest daughter, and yeah, I had child support. Anyway, so I go to jail. I'm there for like 6 months. That place is a dungeon, first of all. There's black mold everywhere, disease. The showers have standing water. The floors, the walls melt. They're nasty, moldy. Water drips from the ceiling. There's no heat. There's no air. It's a dungeon. So I'm there for 6 months, and there's a fight in my cell. I'm involved in a fight. We were in a holding cell beside the booking desk. So the charges that me and 2 other girls ended up getting were 2nd-degree assault, unlawful imprisonment, kidnapping.
Listen to her, y'all.
And I think, yeah, that was it at that point. But that was our original charges. The 2nd-degree assault got amended down to 4th-degree assault whenever her x-rays and stuff came back, and she didn't have any real injuries or anything like that.
Now, hence the message I got, or well, not the message, somebody called me yesterday and told me that Bert Sloan and Brian Sloan, so Bert is the former jailer, Brian Sloan is the one who replaced him, and he's also running for jailer again in this next election. And I reckon they have a sister, and their sister is going around telling anybody that'll listen that the chief deputy, you know, the girl that hightailed it, you know, she turned around and hightailed it up the hill out here when I brought my phone out, or I was sitting on my porch with my phone in my hand whenever they came. So, I mean, I'm at my own house. Anyway, apparently, she said that as soon as she saw me, she was going to jerk off her uniform and give me a beat down like I've never had before. And they hope I come into jail, because if I come to jail, she's allegedly going to give me a beat down. And so, allegedly, the jailer's sister, is telling everybody that that Brian Sloan said, as long as just don't break any of her bones, as long as you don't break any bones, I can protect you and I can say I can help you. But if you break any of Elizabeth's bones, then I can't help you. So that triggered, you know, my thinking whenever I watched this video, because that is basically what Letcher County tries to go by, I guess, a whole lot. Like the articles that we read about, what was his name? The coroner, Marty Baker. You remember the pictures of that boy's head and you know, before and then after the beat down, you know, his head looked like a basketball, and just blood all over his clothes. His shirt was like, he really, he was, I think he had to be flown out to Lexington. And he was really hurt bad. And Judge Kevin Mullins, and I don't know if it was Daniel Dotson or not who represented Marty Baker in that. He ended up marrying Daniel's ex-wife, so he probably didn't represent him. I'm not sure. I don't know who represented him, but he didn't get no jail time. He didn't get nothing. They kept it a misdemeanor because he didn't break any bones. He didn't have any like really bad well, I don't know what they'd call really bad injuries. I mean, my goodness, if Letcher County can get through all of these loopholes, I mean, I just don't see how this is not organized crime. Intimidation, retaliation, abusing their positions of power to hurt and harm those who they don't like. So Patrick Little can abuse 2 children, one under the age of 12 and one under the age of 16, plead guilty to it, and not get 1 day of jail time. They negotiate house arrest and work release on a 5-year prison sentence. How do you do that? When the prosecutor was his defense attorney. Well, I looked. I couldn't find a withdrawal where he withdrew as his defense attorney. I couldn't find that. That was not in the public records. I looked for a recusal once he became prosecutor. Couldn't find that neither. Attorney General's office said there was no records that existed until I talked about it on my show. And then all of a sudden a recusal goes in to the Attorney General's office from Matt Butler, our lovely prosecutor here in Letcher County, Judge Mullins' brother-in-law. And in the recusal, because I did another public records request and the Attorney General's office sent it to me the second time. And in his recusal, he names his own replacement. Well, when did that ever happen? When does a prosecutor have to recuse from a case and get to choose his replacement? The word that I got from Pikeville was the prosecutor that finally did, Bill Sloan, once it finally hit his desk, I was told that the case was so screwed up by the time it reached him that he was too afraid to touch it. He just pushed it right on through like it was. He didn't touch it. Yeah, I guess not. I bet he didn't. But this is what we fight against here. This is the kind of corruption that we fight against here. It goes all the way up to the top.
But the charge that stuck was the kidnapping charge. So me and 2 other girls got charged with kidnapping as inmates beside the booking desk in Letcher County Jail. And so going to court, waiting for court for this, I had just signed a probation deal on that trafficking charge, and I pled to 5 years on that, probated, and 5 years on the child support charge, probated. And that was on a Friday. They didn't put my paperwork in that day, so I stayed the weekend. The fight happened literally like the next morning. Saturday is when we got the charges. So the fight happened. They took the 3 of us and put us in a 1-room cell, left us there with no mats for 8 months.
8 months, no mats. So they didn't even have a bed. They didn't even have a little mat for 8 months in Letcher County Jail.